Aloha, I'm Kelly Nakahara, and here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Also, huge mahalo to Longstrugs Hawaii for sponsoring the show. Head on over to your neighborhood Longstrugs for all your shopping needs. Forecasters are predicting a below-average hurricane season for Hawaii. The Central Pacific Hurricane Center expects the region to see 2 to 4 tropical cyclones during the hurricane season, which starts on June 1st and runs through November 30th. The Central Pacific usually sees 4 to 5 storms a year. Forecasters say there is a 60% chance of a below-normal hurricane season with a 30% chance that the season will see normal levels of activity. There is still a 10% chance that activity will be higher than usual. Only one named storm entered the Central Pacific region last year, bringing heavy rains to the islands. The National Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center says La Nina conditions will likely continue in Hawaii throughout the summer for the 3rd year in a row. Despite the favorable forecast, Hawaii residents are urged to begin preparing now for this year's hurricane season. Hawaii's coronavirus case numbers are steadily rising to levels last seen during the Delta surge last year. The Hawaii Department of Health today reported 12 coronavirus-related deaths and 7,149 new infections over the previous week. Hawaii's COVID-19 death toll stands at 1,446, while health officials have recorded 265,571 cases since the start of the pandemic. The 7-day average of new cases was reported at 925 today, up from 722 on May 11th. That figure represents the 8th consecutive weekly increase and tops the highest average recorded during the Delta surge. The state's average positivity rate also increased for the 9th week in a row, jumping from 14.3% last week to 16.9%. By island, there were 4,922 new infections reported on Oahu, 850 on Hawaii Island, 746 on Maui, 460 on Kauai, 26 on Molokai, and 18 on Lanai. Another 27 infections were reported outside the state. State health officials say the case counts are an underestimate of total infections since many people are now using home kits that are not officially recorded. With COVID-19 cases on the rise in Hawaii and parts of the U.S., federal officials are urging some areas to reconsider indoor masking policies. Increasing infections and hospitalizations put more of the country under precautionary guidelines issued by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The spikes are currently concentrated in the Northeast and Midwest, but officials note that past waves have quickly spread across the country. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says local leaders in an increasing number of areas are being urged to encourage the use of prevention strategies. That includes masking indoors and better access to testing and treatment. Meanwhile, White House COVID-19 coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha last week warned that the U.S. will be left vulnerable this fall and winter without new funding for more vaccines and treatments. Jha said the U.S. was already falling behind other nations in securing supplies of next-generation COVID-19 vaccines. He also cautioned that domestic manufacturing of at-home tests is winding down due to lack of demand, risking critical shortages during a potential fall or winter surge. A new law that goes into effect just before the November general election prevents Hawaii's next governor from holding a second job. The prohibition would force Democratic candidates Lieutenant Governor Josh Green and Congressman Kahele to step away from their current side occupations. Green works weekend shifts at an emergency room physician at Kona Community Hospital. Kahele flies for Hawaiian Airlines and serves in the Hawaii Air National Guard. A third gubernatorial candidate, former First Lady Vicky Cayetano, has already stepped down from her position as head of Hawaii's largest laundry service. Green said he plans to continue volunteering his medical services for free around Hawaii and organize medical missions to places like the Philippines and Samoa. If elected, Kelly would take a leave of absence from Hawaiian and either retire from the Guard or transfer into an inactive status list reserve section. He would also cancel enrollment from the United States Army War College. Cayetano resigned as president of United Laundry Services Hawaii Division in February after 34 years of service to concentrate on her campaign. The first case of monkeypox in the U.S. this year has been recorded in Massachusetts. Health officials are investigating whether the rare disease discovered in a man who recently traveled to Canada is connected to small outbreaks in Europe. A small number of confirmed or suspected cases were reported in the United Kingdom, Portugal, and Spain this month. Monkeypox is typically only found in Africa, and cases recorded outside the continent are usually linked to travel there. Monkeypox can begin with a flu-like illness and swelling of the lymph nodes, followed by a rash on the face and body. In Africa, infections are commonly caused by bites from rodents or small animals. The disease doesn't usually spread easily among people. Investigators in Europe say most of the cases have been in gay or bisexual men, and officials are looking into the possibility that some infections were spread through close contact during sex. Officials said the U.S. case poses no risk to the public, and the Massachusetts man who was infected is hospitalized but in good condition. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, have a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.